with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford. Come right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture twice a week, every week, wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, also inside sports, fantasy football, game source, and of course, the great folks out there when it comes to what we do here each and every time out, right there for you at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and hit up Joe, aka Ox1947, at LakersBall.com. Plus, support his company today at Simblades. Simblades with a Y.com. Plus, also as well, every Friday morning right here at the Lakers Fast Break, go ahead and support MagicMan because he has a morning show like no other as MagicMan in the morning. Every Friday morning, we'll take the ugly win. Still, we'll take it. We'll take it indeed. But go ahead and check out Magic Man in the morning every Friday morning right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Plus, also as well, Lakerholics.com. Go ahead and check out Laker Tom, the number one Lakers blogger, who you know is happy right now, along with Jamie Sweet, Yummy Swoot. Big shout out to him. Go ahead and check out what they're doing today at Lakerholics.com. Our good friend Stone Hansen, shout out to you, my friend. I know you're on the road. So go ahead and support him how you can by going ahead and checking out the Upside Swings NBA Draft podcast. Plus, our good friend John McCallion, give him a like and a subscribe as well. And if you could go ahead and like, subscribe, so you get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air each and every time out, right here for you at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Game Source, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football, and all the great things that we do that you can support today. And if you can, it is sincerely appreciated. Well, the Lakers, coming off that stinging loss in Memphis on Wednesday, had to hear a whole lot of talking by Dylan Brooks, blah, 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 blah. LeBron's too old. Yeah, I don't respect anybody if they don't hit 40 on me, blah, 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 blah. It's just like hot air coming out of him just continuously. And LeBron said in his retort back, I don't care about all that stuff. In fact, I don't care about all that BS. He just wants to go out and play the game. And in that first quarter, the Lakers absolutely played that game like no other. Their best quarter of the year. Tremendous performance on both ends. And they destroyed the Memphis Grizzlies in that first quarter with the largest lead, tie for the largest, difference as far as 35-9. Such a tremendous performance on the defensive side of the ball. Locked them down in that first quarter. Really honed in, and basically they just stayed 15 to 30 points as far as the lead. It just kind of didn't get that gas pedal put down all the way. But you know what? They had enough over the next three quarters. Plus, also as well, an ejection for Dylan Brooks for a low blow on LeBron James made it even more enjoyable as he got ejected. And despite hitting 22 points in a row in the fourth quarter for Ja Morant, for his team, the Lakers still pull out a win, 111-101. Very good team victory all around, especially on the defensive end. Could not say anything more great about how the defense played for 3.5 quarters. Really honed down and locked down on the D. It wasn't until halfway through the fourth quarter it kind of fell apart. But you know what? It was too little, too late for the Memphis Grizzlies. I'll take the 111-101 victory, and the Lakers now lead the series 2-1 in the first round playoffs. And here today, two great guys indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today as Magic Man, Sean Grice. Magic Man in the morning. It is Sean Grice, the madman from Toronto, the guy who did get out of Toronto traffic in the second half to check out the game. And Magic Man, glad to have you here, my friend. Again, you weren't there, unfortunately, on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break for the awesome first quarter when Joe and I were just whooping it up. It's the house party in Los Angeles. Everything is great at the crypt. It wasn't pretty after that, but still, the Lakers absolutely got it done.
Oh, Gerald, the old saying, like, would you rather take an ugly win or a beautiful defeat? I mean, it's no contest, right? You take the ugly win. Yeah, they sustained that 13 to 15 point lead for a while there, got it up to 20. Should be noted the largest lead that the Lakers had was 29. The largest lead that the Grizzlies had was 0. They didn't lead at all during the
Best
game.
stat of the day. Like Joe says, as long as the Lakers at the end of the game lead by one, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And 111-101, and it's a wire to wire victory for the Lakers. And you're right, Gerald. John Morant had to go crazy there uh, in the late third and fourth for the Grizzlies to claw their way back, both literally and figuratively. He was the only guy hitting shots for them, though, from beyond the arc. Gerald, there was a good game plan and a
For
good
the
defense
first three quarters, absolutely on Ja.
for a good game plan of here's the interesting stat of the night for me. Okay,
Hmm.
Tyus Jones, 0 of 7 from the field, 0 of 5 from three, no with 3 assists, 2 turnovers. Not an efficient game from him. Not an efficient game. Gerald, the Lakers, we talked about this on the snack pack. We talked about it after game two. Somebody needs to win the points in the paint eventually. It's just got to come to a head. Somebody's going to just pound the other one into submission. Tonight we did it. We finally did it. They kept hammering them in the post, kept driving into the lane, and eventually the Grizzlies wilted, Gerald. And it was a great effort by LeBron to put the emphasis on himself to come out with the right kind of energy, and everybody else followed suit. He was 35 minutes, 10 for 20 from the field. He's 5 of 7 from the free throw line, including 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter. Um, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. It's kind of an average game for LeBron, but he didn't need to play Superman tonight. AD had 31 and 17. He was
Absolutely.
he played dominant tonight. He was very active defensively as well. 3 blocks, 3 turnovers, only 3 personal fouls. So he had his best game of the series. We dominated in the paint, and we finally punched them in the mouth. And let's get game 4, man.
Let's get game four indeed. Once again, the Lakers do win 111 to 101. Also here today, good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today as part of LakersBall.com and also as well Simblades.com. It is Joe Soro. And Joe, good to have you here, my friend. You are part of our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live coverage. And you and I both saw, again, an amazing first quarter. They kind of held enough for most of the rest of the game. Still, we get the victory. And like you said, Joe, as long as they win by one, that's all that matters.
Yeah, they were able to sustain the lead for 2 quarters. And this was after allowing 10-0 run with a minute and a half left in at the end of the second quarter. But this is the 2023 NBA culture. It's just 29-point leads just don't carry very long. Teams always seem to come back and get it back into the low teens. I swear, I don't even remember the last time that didn't happen, let alone the other way around. The Lakers' defense was phenomenal. I think towards the end, when Ja was doing his Kobe act, where he was scoring 22 points in a row for his team, it was maybe a plan of, well, just let him do his thing, and everyone else will be irrelevant when it matters. And that's pretty much what they did. The Lakers, if there is something if we're going to go Nick Saban here, there's some things that you can work on, which is your damn inbound pass. Can you learn how to inbound the ball? Not once, not twice, 3 freaking times you turned it over, inbounding the goddamn ball. Can you fix that? We're already dealing with missed layups with the last few years. Can you at least inbound the ball? I can handle a little bit of missed layups because you're getting distracted, or maybe Triple J is scaring you, whatever. But there's absolutely no reason to miss those 3 times in the same game. there's a level of concentration in today's game that is so bad that I don't know what can fix it. I don't know the fundamentals of inbounding a ball. You might be wondering why I'm picking on this. Well, guys, I watched the Lakers win a championship. Well, actually, win 2 games against Denver in 2009 in the Western Conference Finals because of lousy inbound passing. And I made jokes for years about that. And I don't want to see my own team doing it. But nonetheless, the Lakers came out the gate the way they should. First time sellout at home playoff game in a decade?
Yep.
So very happy with that. And I don't know what we can take from this game to take it to game 4. A little bit of me says we're going back to Memphis 2-2. But if the Lakers can kind of, I guess, redo what they did in the first quarter of this game, then maybe we can do what we were supposed to do, win the first 2 games at home, and then hopefully cut this series out in 6.
I'd like to see it done in 5, but again, like you said, the way if Jaw's going to be continuously playing like that, even with the hurt hand, all it takes is just a little bit of support, which he didn't get today, and it could be a lot of trouble for the Lakers. MagicMan, wanted to throw it back over to you, my friend. When it comes to what you're seeing with the crowd, Joe hit it on the head right there. First time in 10 years in front of a full arena, and Darvin Ham mentioned in his post-game comments how tremendous the crowd was. Having the crowd there, pumping them up, especially in that first quarter, it seemed to give the kind of energy the Lakers exactly what was looking for that they didn't get on Wednesday.
Yeah, you know something, Gerald. There's sometimes there's electricity in the air, and it just is very kinetic, and once you hone in on it, you let it swell over you. You don't really think about it. This is what Kobe talks about in the Mamba mentality. He talks about detachment, detaching yourself away from all the external noise and that. So they came together. The crowd juiced them up, and they came out with a tremendous effort. I really hope Joe, I think that is sustainable for the beginning of a game 4. I really do. Now, whether or not they want to continue on that, let's just call it riding the lightning, that's on them. They need to do that. But I think the start and the energy is definitely sustainable, 100%. Great on the crowd. I mean, it was just that was just 10 years of energy just releasing all at once, Gerald. It was wonderful. So I'm hoping for a continuation of that in Game 4. Like I said, I think that level of energy is sustainable. It's whether or not, like Gerald says, energy is great and effort is great too, but is there execution? Because there needs to be all 3, not just 2.
One thing I wanted to ask you, though, bringing it back to Joe, and once again, the Lakers do win 111-101 to take a 2-1 series lead in the first round of the playoffs between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Joe, I want to ask you this. Defense was the name of the game for the Lakers, and the reason I think they won this game, because as you and I commented on Lakers Fast Breaks Playback.tv channel, was the offense after the first quarter seemed a scattershot as far as inconsistent, still some issues on that end of the court, but whatever they weren't able to muster up consistently on the offensive end, they made up for with a tremendous effort on the defensive end. Even through the first 3.5 quarters, they were really good. I know Zangerstein is in the chat saying that we really played it and did a great job on everybody else besides Ja Morant. I still think that on Ja Morant, we did well for the first 3 quarters before it went to the side. And then again, like she said, that we really did a number on them as far as everybody else that's tried to contribute on the Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, we had Anthony Davis play well in game 1, not play well in game 2.
He took a lot on himself. He blamed himself.
Yeah, it's and that's always the discussion, right? I mean, sometimes the team that you're playing against can put some trickery there that if you're not good at adapting to it or switching it up, you're gonna kind of reel throughout the game. But I don't think that should ever happen with a talent like AD. And I don't care how bad of a coach you are. I think you should be able to learn how to still adjust to your superstars' skills. I don't know what the deal is with the statistics guy with AD. I feel like they don't give him blocks sometimes. AD is a wrecking machine under the basket. I mean, I don't even. Is it just me, or am I just living on
No,
80 Island on defense? That guy is something else on defense. I don't understand how this guy has not. I mean, I know that he's missed time during the last few years, but I don't know how this guy hasn't won a Defensive Player of the Year, even when he was in New Orleans. This guy is unreal on defense. And if you want to talk about why this team came out the gate the way they did, it was because of him on defense. And Vanderbilt was his Robin. I mean, Vanderbilt, got to give some credit to Vanderbilt. My God,
yes.
that guy was jumping in the air. He might as well have been picking up quarters from the top of the backboard. That's how high he was. He was phenomenal. And that guy needs to get the second place player of the game because he was absolutely phenomenal. A lot of energy at the right place at the right time, doing backdoor blocks. I mean, he was just off the ball. Defense was just phenomenal. Another guy that played really well tonight was D'Angelo Russell. He struggled shooting, but there was a control he had during the game that was kind of that allowed LeBron not to exert too much energy. LeBron was the only negative in the plus minus with the start for the starters tonight. And again, I don't know what that means anymore. Plus minus, I look at it just for what and giggles. But LeBron didn't look like he had to put too much energy tonight again, and the Lakers ended up winning. Last time we saw that was Game 1. So it's an interesting theme that's being developed here. It looks like that LeBron, after 20 years, even though he's still dropping 25, looks like he is officially second tier on this team. And bravo for his free throws. I want to give a shout out to LeBron and his free throws. He didn't shoot a lot tonight, but he did. I don't know. It just seems like he keeps making them now. He's not missing as many. And also AD. AD was really good at the line tonight. AD's stats were just as good as his effectiveness on the court. And geez, how about Rui? Rui?
Again.
I mean, Rui was a surprise acquisition for the Lakers this year. I didn't really know much about Rui. I'll be honest. I didn't know much about him. I really never really paid attention to his game. I just knew he was an NBA player. But boy, I don't know what happened during that DNP. He ignited something in himself. And I heard, again, LeBron said something to him, and it took him to some place where it doesn't seem like he's coming back from. And I hope he doesn't ever come back because you can safely say in terms of the role player, the important role player, or what they used to call the X factor, he has been a huge X factor, and he has played a huge part in the Lakers winning 2 of the first 3 games in the series. And if he continues to play like this, the Lakers can make mistakes and not hurt themselves in these games as well. However, mistakes, Lakers, I don't know what they can do to fix this layup missing problem or this inbound problem, but please fix it before Game 4. And please try to take Game 4 like you did Game 3 so we can go up 3-1. And I just don't see Memphis winning 3 in a row at that point. So unless somebody gets hurt on the Lakers, that's major. So let's keep that going. And I know a lot of us, we're in the game, guys. We're in every play and every sequence. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Joe brings up some very, very, very sound points about Anthony Davis. The only problem is that technically the rule is that it's only considered a block when the ball is traveling in an upward apex. So even if you're going in for a layup and you bring the ball down to your hip and then bring it back up, that wouldn't count as a block. Joe, what he is doing though is leading the NBA in deflections in the playoffs, and he's leading the league in blocks. He's averaging 4 blocks a game. He's averaging 4 deflections a game. That's huge. That's huge. Deflections should be a standard stat in the NBA. I don't know why it's not. It's been used for decades. It should be an actual stat that's counted. Um, that's just as integral because he's not getting credit for steals either. But oftentimes, what happens, Joe? Somebody will come into the lane. They'll bring the ball down to their hip to try and get around his alien-like arms, and they can't really do much. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. If I go up and the ball is up, he's going to block it. If I bring it down, maybe he gets a deflection or a steal. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there when you're going into the lane with him. And like you said, he probably should get credit for a lot more blocks than he does, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles with that rule. It's a terrible rule.
It's great. Just want to say, Scarlett, Will Ferrell's a huge LA sports fan. Absolutely huge LA sports fan. I know we saw him at the Kings game, saw him here tonight. He's always at the Trojan games. He loves his SoCal sports. So I'm going to give him a lot of props on that. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Is he from LA
originally? Let me check. I'm going to do right now.
It's kind of puzzling how he could be such a huge LA fan.
He is a huge LA. Yeah, he graduated from USC. Yeah, he's.
Yeah. Then okay, that makes sense. Because I mean, a guy that lived in New York for 12 years doing SNL or however long he was there.
He's born in Irvine.
Oh yeah, for sure. Then
went to USC. Yeah, that's why he's always at the USC football games.
So another point I wanted to make about the game. There's this adjustment per quarter that teams have to make. It's just I'm trying to wrap my head around if there's ever going to be a solution to this or some kind of consistency to it. I don't know if necessarily it ever will be, at least not for the near future. We're officially out of what the NBA used to be. We were mentioning it on playback. Well, let's see if we can get LeBron and AD to rest for the fourth quarter. God, those guys, seriously, those days are gone. It's over. We're never going to see that again. But the Lakers sustained virtually a high teen lead pretty much all second half until that last few minutes when pretty much the game was in hand, anyways. So there is some positiveness in the sense that they sustained the lead for a very long time. They kept these guys at bay no matter what they were doing, no matter how hot John Morant was. So there needs to be some credit there. And I don't know. I went into this series thinking there's a couple things that have to happen for the Lakers to win the series. Some of it has happened, but there's also things that the Grizzlies are doing that warrant their second seed. So I'm going to say if the Lakers win Monday, they're likely going to win the series. If they don't, this is probably going 7. And it's because you got AD and LeBron, you can't ever bet against them.
But that's a tough ask winning twice.
But that's tough to ask to win on the road game 7 against the 2 seed. So if I'm Darvin Ham, because you guys blew it in game 2, you make up for that game by winning both games at home. Then you control your own destiny officially. And then if for some reason you lose 3 in a row after that, then that's on you. No one can argue against or for it anymore. But I don't see the Lakers losing 3 in a row if they win Monday. And that's what I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it.
Once again, the Lakers do win 111-101. It's Gerald Glassford along with Joe Soro, a.k.a. Knox1947 from LakersBall.com. And also as well, the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, when you saw about what was going on with that first quarter, the tremendous first quarter that the Lakers had, and you saw them sustain a defensive intensity for let's say 3 quarters. Let's just say 3 quarters for all intents and purposes. Fourth quarter, they kind of let it get away from a little, but hey, they still pulled out a double-digit victory. When it comes to what you saw with that defensive intensity, I know a lot of we on this show we give Darvin Ham a lot of flack on this show. And it was called out by FL24. How much of today's victory do you give to the Lakers, and how much do you give to Darvin Ham on today's victory?
Mm. I'll give Coach Ham a lot of credit for tonight, Gerald.
Okay.
It was a great defensive game plan. He did come out, and they did try and assert themselves. Look, the rebounding numbers are what they are, but for the most part, Gerald, I felt we boxed out. We didn't allow a lot of second chance opportunities, especially in the first half.
Mhm.
We limited them in the fast break again, Gerald. This is the third game now in this series, and they've only played three. That Darvin Ham has held the Grizzlies to under 20 fast break points a game. That's huge. That's
Mhm.
huge. He's eliminating one element of their offense and defense that they use as kind of like a tentacle for other things that they're able to do. But when you lose a guy like Steven Adams and you lose a guy like Brandon Clark, and I mean, Dylan Brooks basically took himself out of the game today. They lose a lot of their feistiness, Jill. They do. They just don't have as much bite when those guys are not in the lineup. Yes, they do a lot of this, but there's not a lot of balls behind what they do. That's the thing. That's what a lot of NBA astute observers have noticed is that they don't really want to back up a lot of what they say unless they're front running. If they're coming from behind and have to scratch and claw their that's not their game. That's not their game. So to me, Coach Ham has taken a huge element of what they do and thrown it back in their face. And good for him because now we're up 2-1. And I will take the win today. I don't care that we blew that big lead, but I will say this, Joe, and I like to be heard on this because I think I have my thoughts together now, and I have a comparison to make with this idiot. Dylan Brooks is trying to come off like he's Dennis Rodman or he's Vernon Maxwell or he's Meta World Peace. Well, the big difference between those guys and him is about 7 rings and playoff after playoff after playoff performance. Look, if you want to be a pest, you got to back it up. You got to have these. You got to once you have these, then you can do the talking. This guy is a punk, Gerald. He doesn't let his play do the talking. And we're talking about the playoffs, okay? One of the greatest NHL playoff performers was a guy by the name of Claude Lemieux. And people are saying, who? Exactly. He will not be listed in the top 1,000 points scored in NHL history in the regular season. He's top 10 in goals scored in the playoffs. Now, you'll say, well, how does that work? Well, it works when you're a pest and you can do your job at the highest level. And he did. He was a pest. He got under people's skin. He let his play do the talking. He didn't talk and then go out and play. And he's got 4 rings for it. Klay Thompson was right. He was right and he was wrong. He was wrong when he called Triple J a bum. Triple J isn't a bum. Triple J is a very good player. I
Yeah.
just think I just think that was a lot of just Klay just trash talking.
Well, I was
He was right about Dylan Brooks. Nobody will remember this guy the second he is done
yeah.
playing basketball. So
Well,
I'm sick and tired of people pointing to him as like the pest, the agitator. He's not. He's a bug. He's a bug on a windshield. Sorry, Dylan. No, I'm
I just
not sorry.
Well, again, thanks so much, Serge, and everybody out there. Alex, great questions as well. Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. I will say though, Sean, before you go ahead and type back in. Before you go to type back in, I want to ask you this: when it comes to the Lakers and what you saw, and I'll get to you in a second, Joe. When it comes to the Lakers and Dylan Brooks and the low blow that caused him to be ejected from the game against LeBron, we saw something similar from James Harden, who was ejected, and a lot of people question that, where Joel Embiid tried to kick and only got a technical foul. Your thoughts? Should he have been ejected, Dylan Brooks, seeing how the other games have been refereed on, and as far as how some things have been, obviously with Draymond as well, have some things have been qualifying as an ejection and others have not?
You know what, Gerald? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'll give the refs credit. Sometimes you got to read a situation, and maybe they just saw that, you know what? There's no way of cooling him down. We just got to bail. So I give them credit for that situation because it seemed like he wasn't going to cool down. At that point in time, LeBron was 7 of 12 from the field. He had 15 points. He was cooking him. And
Well,
there was nothing Brooks could do to prevent it. So he does these stupid things. Some guys, when the limelight is on them, they get to talking. I've seen it before. You guys have seen it before. It hits different, and they just do something stupid. He just reacted in a stupid fashion, Gerald, and it cost him. It cost him. And again, I'll give the referees credit. They obviously read the situation and thought, "No, he's not going to cool down. He's still fired up." So see you later. Come back for game
absolutely.
4.
And Hoodie Ham was on Twitch. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in Game 4. And we're looking to get another victory for the Lakers in Game 4, indeed. Once again, it's the Lakers winning 111 to 101. Joe, I bring it back over to you, my friend. Question I have for you is Rui Hashimura. Again, we talked about him earlier. You were noting how motivated he has been since he got that Coach DMP, but 3, 4, almost a month now going on. And since then, he's been the consistent player he never has been before in his career. Your thoughts on what is driving him outside of obviously getting a new contract this summer?
Confidence and money are go hand in hand. They're like peanut butter and jelly. What ignited the confidence, I believe, came from maybe motivation to not playing, which you can only admire Rui for that. He didn't look at it as hey, uh, I'm being disrespected. No, he didn't. He went back probably to the coach. Again, I heard LeBron talk to him. He's like, guys, what can I do to make this work? Well, looks like whatever they told him, he took to heart. He worked on it the short amount of time he did, and it ended up changing the whole dynamics of this series alone. His performances the last 3 games are crucial to getting this team beating the Memphis Grizzlies. This is a big win should the Lakers win this series. You're talking about a 7th seed beating a 2 seed, a 2 seed that was on a hot streak coming into the playoffs. Granted, they're missing a few of their top guns, but they were still winning without those 2. And that's kind of how things fall in sports sometimes. Sometimes you can't go all the way with the guys you started with. But there, Rui is just he's a breath of fresh air. It's something there that I wish he would go to Beasley and kind of insert as well. Beasley hitting from 3 a couple times a game is could be the difference between the Lakers winning every game versus struggling to win games. I mean, he's that important if he can hit those shots. But the Lakers have enough depth of guys who can actually do things. Guys like Schroeder, guys like Russell, guys like Rui, guys like Austin Reeves. You have enough of those players in and around the 2 stars to where it's not gonna be crucial if 1 or 2 of those guys doesn't hit, because the other 2 or 3 are gonna hit. My only problem with the Lakers is there is a fundamental, and this goes with, obviously, this goes to Darvingham as well. There are fundamental lapses that should not be happening. Please stop making those mistakes. If you run a play incorrectly, if you don't get the bounce pass going your way, even if you miss a layup because you had a lot of distraction and somebody might have pushed you and they didn't call it, fine. But stop turning the freaking ball over on passes from the sidelines. Stop doing that. And stop shooting threes from the logo when you don't have to. These are the small things that I would like them to fix right now. Like, stop doing them. And I believe after that, it'd be fine. Great win. Absolutely great win, actually. I enjoyed the game, even though that was, these days, no lead is safe. But I enjoyed the game. Anytime you win, you enjoy the game. I'm going to be waiting here to see what the plan is for Monday, and hopefully they come out the gate the same way.
Absolutely, indeed. Once again, the Lakers do win 111-101 as they make now a 2-1 lead over the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Magic Man, wanted to ask you this, and thank you, Hoodie. Hey, despite being a Memphis fan, we are absolutely just thankful for anybody who subscribed, and we truly appreciate it on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. We are just so glad. We just cannot thank you enough for subscribing. Magic Man, when it comes to what you're seeing though with the other players besides LeBron and AD, you saw the great performance again from Rui, who stood up once again, giving you what he needs, but you also saw better games from Austin Reeves. He wasn't an I am him game, but still solid game as well. And then you also got D'Angelo Russell, who made those cryptic comments a few days ago about how he's not a point guard for the Lakers and just a basketball player. Well, tonight, despite not shooting well, still gave you what you needed as far as in the offense, still being able to distribute the ball, played good enough defense. 17 points, 7 assists. Austin Reeves, 13 points, but a +8 and a +13, combined a +21 for both those players. To see the kind of help and support for AD with 31 and 17 and LeBron with 25, 9 and 5, that's exactly what you need in order to go ahead and get the job done.
Yeah, 100%, Gerald. And a lot of the strengths that a lot of our guys have came out tonight. I mean, look, we'd all love Vando to be a better finisher, be a little bit better from the three, have a dribble drive game a little bit. But you know what, Gerald? What he does really well, did really well tonight. He initiated a few fast breaks. I counted 3 in the second quarter alone because all he's doing is boxing out, grabbing the rebound, and his eyes are down the floor. I'm not sure if this is playing with the LeBron necessarily, but it just seems that guys who have a knack for passing, or obviously that's more their forte, they seem to accentuate their skill a little bit more playing with LeBron. Kevin Love is a good example. Kevin Love turned into he was always a good passer, but
Yeah.
he started launching those 58, 65 footer. Go ahead, Gerald. Seems like
No,
something's on your mind.
Rolling Up is saying Trae Young would have had 50 plus in either of these defenses tonight.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Who said that?
That's highly
Rolling Up
questionable.
on YouTube.
Who
But
said
thank you
that?
for watching Roll One Up.
Thank
Roll
you.
One Up.
There's no one on the planet other than Ja that could have done what Ja did tonight. Did you see how fast that guy was moving? That guy made Derrick Rose look like AC Green. He was a jet. I hadn't seen a guy run like that. I didn't even see AI with that kind of speed. John Morant has a gear I don't think I've ever seen.
It's Usain Bolt like.
Oh my
it's
God.
Usain Bolt like. It is.
There's no one. Trae Young. Oh my God, give me a break. First of all, there's no one could have done what John Morant did tonight. Not Trae Young, not AI, not Kobe, not maybe Michael Jordan. His first 5 years in the league. That's it. But no. That was I haven't seen speed like that. And I say that because I didn't see Michael Jordan. I wasn't old enough to see Michael Jordan the first 4 or 5 years in the league.
He's saying
I saw games on ESPN Classic where I was like, dude, now I really truly know what this guy was when he first came in the league. He was a freaking alien. He was an alien of an alien.
rolling up. I'm just gonna say right now, you got Trey's got a little bit more to worry about how much rather than just what he would do against the Lakers or Grizzlies. He's got a team in Boston. He has to go ahead and try and see if he can actually repeat yesterday's performance against. So let him focus on that before you get the comparisons in there.
I think one of the biggest issues you're going to have in Game 4 is that you can't really take much out of that second half, Gerald. Not really. You were up by 20 for most of the game. Lead got trimmed. They got it with it, but they got it within 11. They didn't get it within single digits ever in the game. So I don't think a lot could be taken away in that second half. I think you need to learn what happened in the first half and try and commit that to the fourth game again, because Memphis didn't have any answer for that. Z's right. Z said that the Lakers stopped playing their offense in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter. Sangerstein is correct. I agree.
Well, I will say Hoodie has got a good point. If it goes 6, the Lakers, could win. Game 4 is going to be a key. So, if, he thinks that the Lakers win, could go to, be only a 6-game series. But if it goes back to Memphis, he's a Memphis fan. He's obviously leaning on the side of Memphis in the 7-game series. But as Joe and I also say as well, that it is something that, again, if it does go back to Memphis for Game 7, it will be very tough, because I will give all the props to Memphis's home crowd on being very loud. And obviously they were very good in the regular season from home. So that's going to be a tough ask for the Lakers to win twice in Memphis, but can't say they can't do it yet. So we'll see. But let's worry about Game 4 that's coming up here on Monday. But before we do, one last thought about what's going on with Game 3. Again, another great performance in that first half. Joe, do you see them coming out in Game 4 much like you did in Game 3?
It's the same result, even if they did. I think Memphis will adjust and adapt, and then if things don't go well, we're going to start blaming Darvin Ham again. So get ready for that. I just would be happy if we stop making mistakes. Now, even in that first quarter when we were up 35-9, it probably should have been 45-9. They were missing point blank shots and layups. So, but a lot of that might be because you're concentrating so much on defense, and that's something that tends to happen as well. So I'm willing to set it aside. That's just kind of how that's how it is. But I don't know. I haven't gotten a feeling yet of what's going to happen in Game 4. If anything, I'm worried that Memphis is going to come out desperate, which could be a problem for the Lakers. So the Lakers are going to have to match that intensity, and they're going to have to devise a plan to guard Ja enough to where they can still keep the guys around him at bay, and then repeat the performance that AD had tonight. And LeBron played 36 minutes, which, I mean, low impact 36 minutes is pretty darn good, but you have to win this series for that to matter. Because if you can win this series with LeBron not having to do too much, you're going to get a little bit more in the second round. And then if you play Sacramento, let's say in the second round, just for what purposes, and I say that Sacramento because I feel like it's never gonna, if Golden State wins, chasing around Poole and Steph and Clay is exhausting. So yes, we would need to get lucky there and beat Memphis and then play Sacramento, and then you could probably keep LeBron a little rested in that series until you probably meet Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals.
I don't know. That Denver team is pretty damn tough.
Well, maybe.
I'm leaning towards Denver right now.
Maybe.
I'm saying leaning.
I picked them. I picked them to go all the way, but There's one thing that I've understood a very long time in the NBA. When you have a all-time great that's still playing well and a good supporting cast, you're going to have the upper hand no matter what's going on. I know Jokic is a two-time MVP. I know Jamal Murray is really, really good, and I know they got a good coach there. But if Durant decides that he wants to take over in particular spots in the game, that's the part that's going to be difficult to stop. But that's for the future right now. We need to focus on the Lakers beating Memphis. Lakers, here's my message to you now that we're coming down on to the last minutes here of the show. You need to win this game. Why do you need to win this game? You win this game, you control your own destiny in winning the series. And if you do that, that means you at least win this thing in 6. So if I'm Darvin Ham, I sit those guys down on Sunday night and go, all right, guys, tomorrow night you win, you will beat a 2 seed likely. You will be one game away from beating a 2 seed. And let's get this thing done. Let's make some history. Let's be the first 7 seed to win it all. That's as simple as I can get it. There's no really other ways to go about this. All this Dillon Brooks crap. Dillon Brooks is someone who's bored and wants to kind of get attention. Even when he's talking smack, he doesn't look like he really is confident in his smack talk. It's very empty. There's no fullness there. Now, I jinxed it. I'm going to admit, I jinxed it. I said something at playback today. I said, at least he's not hitting anybody in the nuts. I don't know if anybody even heard me say that. I might have said it before, too. And then all of a sudden, he hit him in the nuts. I'm going, what the hell? What? Like, I dislike Draymond Green more than I dislike Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks thinks he is a bad guy in wrestling. I think Sean said that, right? Sean, you had mentioned that, right? That's a very, very true statement. He thinks he's a bad guy in wrestling. The only problem is he's got no pop. So it's not going to really last long. And hitting people in the nuts is stupid. It's just stupid. Like, dude, come on. This is basketball. This is not, slapdick freaking backyard fighting here. Come on. So Dillon Brooks, if I'm the coach and I'm talking to Dillon Brooks, I'm like, dude, you want to talk smack? You want to get under the opposing team's player's skin? Fine. What the hell are you doing slapping people on the that looked deliberate, man. Come on. We're not blind. There's 50,000 cameras looking at you. So that's my button on this. Again, I enjoyed a lot of the really cool plays tonight. I enjoyed the win, and I'm ready for Monday, though. I'm ready to get to Monday.
Maybe he learned a lesson tonight, because when they asked Dillon Brooks his thoughts on the game tonight, he declined to comment, Gerald. Didn't have a peep to say. Now, normally I'd hold my powder here, but since it is Dillon Brooks, Gerald, we were talking on playback. I don't normally listen to the games with the sound on. Gerald, Joe, all our colleagues kind of know this. So a friend of mine sent me a little snippet of what Doris Burke had to say about Dillon Brooks tonight. As he was leaving the floor, because he was ejected, Doris Burke had this to say. Now, Doris Burke doesn't necessarily diss people. She's never really done that. But this is the nicest thing she had to say about Dillon Brooks. He doesn't really provide any athleticism on the floor, and he doesn't really provide any shooting on the floor. Exactly. So what does he provide? Gerald, all we're missing is I hope people in Game 4 show up with the red noses for him, just to show him what a clown he is, because all that's missing is the floppy shoes and the white makeup, and you would have a clown on the court. And that's what we're going to dub him. Dillon Brooks, you are the clown of the court.
Well, again, we commented on how maybe him being ejected was a bad thing for the Lakers simply because of the fact of how bad he was shooting and bad how normally he shoots and how, offenses want him, defenses want him to shoot because of how bad a offensive player Dylan Brooks usually is. So that's something I think that a lot of people got in mind. And I think it allowed Jaw to take over even more because Dylan wasn't trying to chuck up shots and maybe try to take up too much of the offense. So we'll see what happens on Monday. But once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 111 to 101. Joe, any last thoughts before we head on out, my friend?
Win game 4.
Sean, any last thoughts, my friend, on the way out?
You know what, Gerald? I'm hoping that Darvin Ham has a good night's sleep, wakes up with a cup of coffee or whatever energy drink he needs to get through the morning, comes up with a great game plan for game 4. Let's come out with that same attitude. I'm not sure if the execution will work again, Gerald, but we can hope for the same energy. Let's go. Let's get game 4. I'm ready.
As Joe and as Sean, as Intel Wild, and everybody else in the chat room, I give a special thank you. But as Joe, Intel Wild, and everybody else there is saying, win game 4 indeed. But once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Search and Destroy, Johnny 2K6, Intel Wild, Zangerstein, Hoodie, big shout out to you on Twitch and thank you so much for subscribing. Alex, been sensational in the chat. Everybody that's been a part of what we're doing here, just thank you so much. I just cannot thank you enough for all the support, all the great comments. You know what? Even you roll one up. You know what? Even though you've been throwing out those things on the chat room, we truly appreciate you being part of what we're doing, watching. Incredible. Daniel, as always, giving us those great comments as well. Thank you so much, Adam. Everybody that's been a part of today's chat, the best Lakers chat that's out there is nowhere else than right here at the Lakers Fast Break. So for Joe Soro at simblades.com and LakersBall.com and MagicMan in the Morning host, Sean Grice, it's Gerald Glassford. Please like and subscribe so you can get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air. And remember, Monday night for the game, join us, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. You will hear Joe Uncut, Sean Uncut, and so much more. And then you'll get us right back after the game on the best post game for the Lakers that's out there. You can't find it anywhere else but right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Lakers win. Lakers win.